Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Slappy Garage. On this episode, I want to talk to those newer riders or people who haven't worked on the bike and they want to start doing that. So on this episode, I'm going to give you a couple of key points to do before you start working on a motorcycle. Things that I wish I knew before I did my project, and that led to me not riding that bike the next season like I planned on. So when you first start going, you're going to want to find your style. Now your style can mean two different things. It's a style of bike you eventually want to have or you want to build right now, or it can be the style of riding. Those are two very important things that you want to find for yourself before you start throwing money into something and change your mind a million times like I have. So once you figure out if you're an aggressive or a passive rider, or if you want a chopper or a stock looking bike, you're going to go into your research. Now, researching your bike, you can do many different things. The easiest way to start is start going to the forums. They have answered every single question you might have a million times. And if they haven't answered that, you can go to the Facebook groups. And there's a lot of groups, especially if you're a newer rider. Say you're on a Sportster. There's a lot of Sportster-specific groups you can go into, and they'll talk to you and give you information, and they're all there to help out. That's why they have these groups. It's for everyone's benefit in the end. Other things you can do is watch YouTube videos and look at people who are actually doing the builds themselves and see what you like and what you don't like. And if all else fails, you can go talk to your friends. So if you're riding, hopefully you found someone to ride with who maybe has a little more experience than you. Talk to them, and if you don't know anyone yet, there's events like bike nights, or you'll find people and meet them. Don't maybe bombard them with questions when you first meet them, but build a relationship with these people because it's a community of people helping each other out. And if all else fails, go to the stock Harley manual or one of the manuals that are a little more specific on the process. And if this is a little too hard for you, there are mechanics for certain things on the bike that you might not be able to do, but that's not the point of this video. This point is to talk to people and try to get them to start working on the bike themselves. So once you get done with the research, you're going to figure out what's more important to you, performance or the aesthetic of a motorcycle. So now, before you think performance is a big motor, no, performance has everything to do with the motorcycle, from your handling to your braking. And as a new rider, those are the most important things for you to upgrade or have done right. So you're going to look to what is most important to you. If you want a really flashy bike that's seen by everyone and you don't care how it performs, you just want to be noticed, just know that the girls aren't looking, the guys are watching the bike more than them. But now there's a lot of people who don't like to stand out, and I understand why, because you might be noticed by certain people who want to pull you over all the time, going through your neighborhood in and out. But these are all things you're going to find for yourself and figure out what's the best route for you to go. It's a very expensive hobby, so you don't want to go all in at once, especially if it's your first bike that you're working on. You also have to ask yourself, is this manageable? Is this manageable to get done? And is this bike going to be manageable for me to ride, especially as a newer rider? So these are questions you're going to ask yourself, but you should never look over the most important part of this, which is the maintenance. Over performance and aesthetic, this is the most important thing. If you're new to working on motorcycles, if you master this one thing, everything else will come more naturally. You'll be able to start working on bikes little by little. So really try to hone in your maintenance. It's the most important thing you do on your motorcycle. It gives you more longevity and it makes it a little more cheaper, especially rather than bring it to a mechanic every time you need an oil change. It adds up real fast. Once you figure out what you want to do with your bike, the plan and budget comes. So plan and budget, you have two questions to ask yourself. Will I finish it in time, and what will it cost? I have a little diagram here. This is the easiest way I can explain what will it cost. Say you have a $1,000 budget, and in black you've marked two different things. You mark a cheap part and a part you really want, and actually all three of those parts that you want to do for bars, risers, and seat cost $1,000. And that sounds great because that's your budget. But you're forgetting the key aspect of this is many other parts are going to have to go into the bike, not just the bars and risers. You're going to need wire extension, grips, and cables. And then I would also do an oil change because it's the winter time, and when you want to start riding your bike, it's going to be time for you to do this maintenance. So all that together is $400. That leaves you with $600 to spend on your trick parts. So now you only have $1,000 to spend, and you want to figure this out, but you really want those risers, and that's the most important thing to you. So you're going to have to work and find a way to work in your budget. So you can get a cheaper seat, cheaper set of bars, and that nice set of risers that you really wanted. About the $600 for those three parts, and you get those risers you're really excited about doing, and then you can still do your oil change and get everything necessary to put these parts on the bike. Now we're going to go into your plan for your time. Parts don't always come in a timely fashion. Sometimes they get back ordered, or sometimes you order some custom manufactured stuff that takes a little while. This is something you have to understand before starting to plan your bike. If you know it's going to take 6 weeks, plan on 8 to 10 weeks, because they're sometimes not too reliable in sending parts out. When you're planning your time, you can watch a video that takes 5 minutes on YouTube and you're like, oh, I'm sorry to do this, I can get it done by the weekend. Well, sometimes that might take 2 to 3 days of filming and editing that they just made it into a 5-minute video. Be prepared to take a little more time than it might actually take, and that'll give you a little bit of a cushion. So when it comes time to get done, hopefully you already done beforehand and can test and ride the bike. Because if you want to go on this trip in March and you don't test the bike before this day you leave, you can end up in a big situation where your bike breaks down, like mine has, on a big trip you planned on doing all year. But for now, this is just some key aspects. I will go deeper into every single thing I've mentioned in this video. And this is just trying to introduce you to guys into some ideas before you start building your bike. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I gave you some information that can help you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. And if you are a veteran rider or builder, leave a comment down below of things I might have missed or things that might be important for these guys to learn beforehand.